Hey there, friends. It's your old pal Stuart again, and I wanted to talk to you about big antennas. I mean, really big antennas. See, let's just imagine that you've got an older house. There are millions of houses in this country that were built between 1955 and 1970. The population was exploding, and all over the country, suburbs were popping up like crazy. And you know what all those crazy cats back then did? They put up TV antennas. They put them up on the roof, and they put up these big antennas because they had to, because that was the technology they had back then. And so these antennas were super sturdy. They're much heavier duty than the ones you see today, which is great. They're not necessarily any more effective, and they're not going to necessarily last longer, but they're just super sturdy because, again, that's all they could do. That's the only option they had back then. The result is that 60 years later, you can find that some of these antennas are still up on roofs and they're still in pretty good shape. So ask yourself, do you need a gigantic antenna that looks like this, or you can get away with maybe a sexier, smaller one that looks like this? Because I know you'd probably rather have the smaller one, but more than anything, you'd rather not go up on the roof and change things if you don't need to. Here's the bottom line. Antennas vary in size depending on the kind of signals they want to pull in. And one of the reasons those old antennas are so big is because they almost always had to pull in channels between 2 and 6. And if you have a channel 2 antenna, an antenna that's designed to just get channel 2, that thing's got to be huge. It's got to be about 7 feet edge to edge in order to really get that kind of signal the way that it needs to be gotten. Not only that, but also there were no really good amplifiers at that time, so that big antenna size matters is what I'm trying to say. That's all you could do at that time. However, today, most broadcasts are in the range of channel 14 to 36. In order to get that kind of signal, you need a much smaller antenna. That's good too, because you can make do with an antenna that's a lot smaller and is going to do a lot better for you. Not only that, we have super low noise amplifiers that will help these antennas perform a lot better, even with today's digital signals, which are harder to deal with than the old analog signals were. Chances are you do not need a very large antenna unless you're in one of those markets where you still have a really strong need for something in channels 2 through 6. I'm talking about you folks out in Philadelphia, for example. Your channel 6 has been broadcasting on channel 6 forever. Most TV channels, regardless of the number that you think they're broadcasting on, actually broadcast on a much higher channel number, and they're fooling you. But that's a story for another video. So unless you're in Philadelphia or you know you have a need for a really big antenna like that, then you don't need to have it.